Thank you. So ESG Book, we are a leading ESG data and technology provider, and I want to take you just a few minutes through why we exist, who we are, and then obviously where we're going with this journey. Very briefly, I don't need to remind you that sustainability is now one of the main driving forces for financial markets. You're all here because you believe in it. That's why we have conferences like this. But there are three things coming together why this is now such a pressing need. First of all, the majority of global capital has signed up to ambitious targets. The two numbers that I think are most relevant here is 120 trillion have signed up to the UN Principles of Responsible Investing, so a pledge to integrate E, S, and G considerations into the investment process. And the second important number, 130 trillion have signed up to a race to net zero. So GFANZ last year in Glasgow, the Glasgow Financial Alliance for Net Zero, 130 trillion said, we will align our portfolios to net zero. Guess what? You need data. The second big driver is regulation. I spent 10 years working for a very large bank. Regulation was never my friend. Suddenly, regulation is my biggest friend, because whenever a regulator comes with a new request, SFDR, EU taxonomy, SEC fund labeling, FCA fund labeling, institutions need information. So ESG is becoming the next know your customer problem, the next KYC. And that needs large amounts of new product. And the third big driver here, obviously, is that the real economy is moving, right? The real economy is investing. Investors want to participate in the real economy. So I put just a stat here on more than 1,000 companies now have an SBTI target of the largest companies. With that, capital is shifting. But the problem is at the moment, data isn't good enough, right? We use very simplistic scores to allocate capital more efficiently. That's why you have Elon Musk being angry on Twitter that Tesla has a poor ESG score. That's why we have a huge political backlash, in particular in the US, because people don't understand that better ESG performance normally correlates with better financial performance. And we end up in a political divide where essentially red states are against ESG and blue states are before ESG. Many, many problems. I won't go deeper, but the current market for environmental, social, and governance information is broken. And so we come in with a vision to transform finance by making sustainability information accessible, comparable, and transparent. And so who are we? We're a 4-year-old company, about 200 people, and we provide large amounts of E, S, and G data for the majority of global capital. So we cover 37,000 companies with 450 data points. So we can tell you the water consumption of Coca-Cola, the number of women on the board of Sony, the carbon footprint, scope 1, 2, and 3 of BHP Billiton. And we can do this from the largest companies down to small caps, mid caps, listed and increasingly private. We have offices in Tokyo, Singapore, Delhi, London, Frankfurt, and Boston. 200 people, of which 120 sit in Delhi, where we have our data center, and the rest is a group of software engineers, salespeople, and obviously ESG researchers that turn data into insight. And what is it that we actually do? We provide 3 products. We provide ESG raw data, so the metrics that we just talked about. We then turn ESG data into analytics, so we make it investable. So if you want an index that is climate aligned, if you want a screening product to screen out controversial activities, or if you want regulatory alignment solutions, we provide that. And the third thing that we do, we have a SaaS solution. So if you don't just want to consume a data feed, we also do the work for you as a workhorse. And you see on the right-hand side the type of use cases that then they apply to. We either help large investors create new products. So how do you make data investable? So if you want to have a climate-aligned strategy, an ESG improver strategy, we would create this. We help companies with reporting, so client engagement reporting, State Street, Boney, but also Robinhood and eToro. So when you go in your eToro app, you now see the performance of your stock, but also the ESG profile of your stock. We do risk management and regulatory solutions, and we help companies understand how the financial market looks at them. So we broker essentially between investors and companies. And what does the platform do? The platform does 4 things for companies and for investors. We help investors manage large portfolios. So you can upload your entire portfolio, ISINs, CDOLs, 37,000 companies covered. We allow you to do deep dive analysis on individual companies. So we provide everything from high-level scores down to the source document. So we provide essentially a product that is very similar to what you're used to on a Bloomberg terminal for financial data, just that we do it for non-financial data. Everything from a score down to the document where the information comes from. We enable you to map between different frameworks because everybody is confused of the alphabet soup of ESG. Is it SASB, GRI, ISSB, TCFD? We have a tool that creates a mapping between all these different standards. And we then also allow companies to disclose against these different standards. So we are a platform that connects capital with the corporate side. Business-wise, we're 4 years old. We're growing about 250% year over year. Obviously, don't have the numbers here, but we're sort of nearing a 10 million ARR mark. We have about 10,000 users now on the platform. The platform is our latest edition, which we launched a year ago. So you've seen go from 0 to about 10,000 users in a year. And you see on the right-hand side, very high retention ratio. It's an ARR business, so we sell software licenses and data licenses to large financial institutions and companies. And so what's the ambition? And I put a question mark behind it because we still have to get there. But we want to be the leading ESG platform for financial markets and for CFOs. So we connect investors and CFOs in large companies, and we want to allocate or help the allocation of capital flows to more sustainable outcomes. Why are we different, or why are we better than some of the other players, especially the incumbents in the market? We have one of the largest coverages. So we cover essentially the entire financial market with data. We use a combination of human analysts and AI to get there. We make data comparable and transparent. So most people at the moment don't know how to make ESG data from company 1 to company B to actually comparable and consistent. That's a service that we provide. We do all of that in a cloud environment, API-enabled, integrated into all the major systems. So if you go on your Bloomberg terminal, we're there. We're on the Google Marketplace, on Snowflake. So we distribute through modern means. Our data is both backward-looking and forward-looking. So we use company reporting for backward-looking information and news, NGO, and social media sources for forward-looking signals. And then finally, I think we have a very different vision of how we want to take it to market. If you look at it today, large data providers provide very opaque, human-driven ratings that nobody understands. It's hard to get under the detail. It's hard to really get into the substance. What we do is we give you a data solution, fully transparent, on a platform that is free for everyone. And then we obviously provide premium solution, but it's a highly transparent ecosystem that makes ESG data accessible, transparent, and comparable for everyone. That's the vision of ESG Book, 4 years old, in a good space to hopefully build a category leader in ESG data for financial investors. Long way to go, but very exciting journey. Thank you for the time.
Thank you, Daniel. Thank you very much.